Hi, my name is Father Jim Bilo. I am at St. Paul on the Lake in Grosse Pointe Farms, Michigan. How did I know God was calling me to be a priest? Actually, I wasn't quite sure. I can say that when I was in high school, I was part of our teen club, and I stayed home when I went to college, so I actually was asked to be the leader of the teen club, and that got me involved with my home parish of St. Germain's, which was in St. Clair Shores. When I was in college studying business, people would say to me, "Jim, have you ever thought about being a priest?" And I said, no, I had this dream of what my life would be like once I was out of college. And so that's the dream that I pursued. But once I got out of college and I was working in the business world in corporate America, I found that I was always drawn to, couldn't wait to actually get out of work so I could go back to the parish and do some of the ministry there or the fun things that I found enjoyable and fulfilling. And then it occurred to me that, Jim, you got this backwards. And that's how God was pushing me to responding, I should say, to his call. And by doing that, I applied to the seminary. And I was accepted, and I started my journey in faith formation for the priesthood back in 1986. My favorite thing about being a priest, I'd like to answer that in a twofold kind of prong. The first one is that there's a profound reality to the priest, and that reality is to celebrate the sacraments of the church, the Holy Eucharist, the sacrament of reconciliation, the anointing of the sick. Those are our three primary, in the sacrament of marriage. And so that's a profound reality of what it means to be priests and to offer the sacrifice of the Mass on behalf of the people. The other part of the favorite part about being a priest is being able to work with so many people in very different backgrounds and people that are in a joyful situation or people that are experiencing a tragedy, or just working with the school or doing spiritual direction for the seminarians. I've been asked to do that many years ago by the Archbishop, and I really find that very fulfilling to help other people to know how the Lord is working in their lives. So those are some of the favorite things that I enjoy about being a priest. So what is one piece of advice that I would give to a young man who is discerning the priesthood? Again, I like to give a two-pronged approach. We live in the material world with the culture, and we grow up. We either get a job or we engage in a trade. We go to college. We have a profession. And then we look for a companion, usually our spouse, that we will get married and have children. And that is all really good. And then there might be this spiritual reality that we feel like there's something else that's pulling at our heart that isn't what part of the culture would say we should be doing. And that's where our prayer in front of the Blessed Sacrament comes in, and this is the spiritual reality of our life. And so we may be called to the priesthood because we will be with a family. We are married to the church, the bride of Christ. We are going to go through the ups and downs of life just as if we were with a family. That's what the priesthood is all about. And it's not like one is better than the other. To choose between marriage or to choose between the priesthood, you're choosing between two goods. And that is where in our spiritual life we have to ask the Lord, what is our deepest desire? Lord, what have you planted at the core of my being that will bring fulfillment to my life and do your work to build the kingdom of heaven here on earth? The material and the spiritual. And you have to pray through both of those so that you're truly hearing what God is calling you to do for your life. What is one way that the parish community can support me or any priest? The first thing is, I believe the priest needs to be revealing in an appropriate way to his people. Like, what is my personality? How do I think? How do I solve problems and stuff like that? So people have an understanding of how I respond to what might be going on. And with that, then the people know how to respond. Also, I believe it's important that the people are comfortable and ask the priest, hey, what's going on? I heard this was going on, or can you clarify this for me? So instead of rumors getting spread or misinformation being communicated, is just ask him to the best of his ability, hey, what do you think? That honesty is very important for me because then it just builds community instead of dividing it. And of course, the prayers, the support, and every once in a while getting the chocolate chip cookies is just a really great thing of supporting your parish priest. So what is one thing about the priesthood that you may not already know? Well, there's probably many. First is more of a serious one, is that the priesthood is a mystery because we're in the persona Christi, in the person of Christ. And so our life is mystery because it's tied up into the mystery of Jesus Christ in a very particular way. And so most people don't recognize that deeper reality that when we're ordained, there's an ontological change to our being that conforms us to Christ. But as a human being, we have to also do our part to stay connected to Jesus Christ. So that's very important that we do a holy hour every day, that we say Mass every day, that we say our breviary every day. It's very important that that's our relationship and deepening with Jesus. The second thing is we're still human. I have a family. My mother's still alive. I have siblings. I have nieces and nephews, and they just love giving me a hard time, just as brother, as Jim, but also to say, hey, Jim, would you say Mass for us, or can you do the baptism? Hey, we're getting married. I would love you to do the wedding. So it's a very intimate way of being part of your biological family, as long as doing weddings and all kinds of sacramental and fun things in the parish as well for your parish family. So maybe that's something you don't know, and I hope that this helps you out. Thank you.